Hello, my name is Helix, and tonight I will be your raconteur of despair. Welcome to the grind. For those following this story this far, you may be thinking to yourself, what is this twisted amalgamation of chaos? I would like to assure you that not only is everything connected, but much to everyone's surprise, you should consider all the information you have seen so far to be an epilogue. The main story has yet to begin. The events that you have seen so far have taken place over the course of a little under 24 hours. We have seen several characters enter the story and exit the story. I would also like to assure you that they may not be completely gone, and they may still have a role to play. And even yet still, there are many more things to be discovered. Getting into the main story and what we will see tonight. This will be the last leg of what can be considered the epilogue. When we think of ourselves as good people with good intentions, in the struggle to help others, we can often become misguided and make the wrong choices. And even in our own opinions or twisted delusions, we can consider those choices to still be the righteous ones. In our desperate attempts to aid the ones that matter most to us, sometimes we end up losing ourselves. But when a city ruled by darkness and chaos and monstrosities that drive much of the world's wealth, it is hard not to be crushed under in the grind. Okay. We last left off as the group, as it were, made their way into a newly renovated Logos Minerva. They immediately wanted to go see Octavius, to which they traveled into his inner sanctum, the new library of Alexandria. They opened these gold-adorned doors in the shape of a tree in a stenciled outline, to which they opened and revealed a much younger Octavius. Still fairly old, but not as ancient as he was before. The clatter that encircled him of the books and various items and ritualistic knickknacks, as it were, seemed to be a little more organized, a little more put together. They opened the door, looked at him across the hall, and he invited them to come in as he saw them to be not who they were before quite so much, as well as a new face he had not seen. This is where we will begin our scene. Well, don't stand there. Come
You're
in.
looking a lot better.
Yes.
Walk towards him.
And it would seem you look a lot worse.
He's alive.
If only you knew.
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Yeah, I know. You can probably tell. No more dreaming.
Well,
So, quick question.
Hmm.
Where'd the coffee pot go?
Yeah.
this sanctum was restored. All of its impurities purged. You see, he has
that's right.
a much cleaner look and much sharper eyes, and a much more serious tone to his observation of all of you.
I don't necessarily think of coffee as an impurity, do you?
I'm not.
My dear, it was not the consumable that was the impurity.
The machine, right?
Yes.
You don't happen to have laying around any spare machines that you don't need?
It would seem our cameras have malfunctioned. We will be right back. And we are back. I apologize for the technical difficulties as we are communicating across the globe in Discord. All right. Where were we?
Eve was asking if he had any additional machines that he needed to be getting rid of.
I assure you, they are all gone from this sanctum.
Gotcha. I was just asking.
Damaris is gonna be so pissed.
Well, I suppose he will be, but
I look at him.
He'll manage.
He's very quietly observing all of you.
Yeah. I look at him and I'm like, do you mind if we sit down for a minute?
By all means. And he raises his hand, and 4 stone chairs appear out of the floor.
Appreciated.
And I did say 4. He is still standing. But Amangulan, I need you to make a spirit roll.
Spirit. Oh. 98 versus 60.
You don't notice anything. But you feel uneasy in this space. You feel a dense spiritual pressure.
Alright, I'll bite. I look at him and I go, so who's the 4th chair for?
Well, last you left, there were 4.
Yeah, he exploded with napalm out of his gullet.
That's rather unfortunate.
Yeah.
Little. Yeah.
But we actually needed to kind of hang out here for a minute and do some research, if that's okay.
We should also
Yes, the sanctum is
fill in your tag along.
open. I was much looking forward to Jonathan and our acquaintance. He made promise of trade.
I might be able to help you out.
Is that right?
I said might.
Just a moment. And he reaches back somewhere behind this stone slab and reveals that very large purple glass, magnifying glass, and just holds it up out in front. And he looks at Eve and he says, "My condolences and congratulations. It would appear you are much more than you were." And you, little one, you don't seem to be much at all. I'm actually surprised you are here. But you're welcome nonetheless. And he looks at the visage of what Damaris appears to be.
For the record, We are cohabitating currently. I just want to open with that.
It would seem he has lost his battle.
For now.
Well, this is sort of just a different version of him.
Hopefully
no,
he is
he
not.
can see me for what I am.
Hopefully he has not lost his spirit altogether.
I hope not.
Well, the one wearing his...
Ha! He looks at you when you say that.
Yeah, I was like, I hope not.
Yes, indeed. And he looks very sharply at you.
Well, I look at him and I'm just like, well, look, I did kind of agree to help him for now, so. But he did give me his whole body in exchange if I want it, so that is a plus, I suppose.
Yes, you're the one that called all of those spirits here. Just to prove a
Not
point.
on purpose.
Yes.
Okay, kind of, yeah.
You cannot lie in this sanctum. I will know it.
You did what now?
Don't worry about it.
I'm worried about what?
Don't worry about it.
Look, I'm beyond giving out any sort of verbal lashing. I just want to know what we might have to deal with and maybe some explanations for what I've seen.
Yeah, well, if I knew, I'd tell you. Hey, as I look at him, I look back to him. Look, I'm sorry about that, honestly, but I mean, he had to know I was there. He's kind of dumb. He's so obsessed with the occult, and he can't see what's in front of him. Like, come on now.
He is free to make his own choices, as well as his own mistakes.
Positive for me, man. But I am gonna try to keep him safe while I can. So, while I can. And on that note, I crack open Jonathan's case.
Okay. Within it, you see the information that he was dealing out at the very beginning of this story.
So, would you happen to know anything about any of these? And I'd hand him some of the pictures.
They leave your hands and float into the air and land organized on the table in rows. Yes, this looks like the work of the Ophion Society.
Oh, the Ophion, really?
Yes, but something tells me you already knew that.
Had an inkling.
They didn't.
I did.
So would you, happen to know where I could start, so to speak?
Well, I would assume you would start with any investigation at the beginning.
True.
We need to go to the scene.
Would you happen to have any books on a certain society that I might be able to thumb through?
Yes, I made trade of one.
Mm-hmm.
To me. I have it. I let Gramps see it. I suppose I can let you see it too. I'll hand him the blue book.
I just look at him like, what? You've had this the whole time?
Since the first time we visited down here. Yeah.
And you idiots still almost got killed?
Consider what I was working with. And certain other pressures.
Oh boy, how has Damaris survived this long? Alright.
I don't know.
So
it's a little impressive.
Indeed, it's impressive that any of you have survived this long. Especially with proximity to each other.
Yeah.
here.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
she just got here.
You have a question.
Just in general. What on earth have you guys been up to since last we spoke, and why on earth did you not tell me?
Do you want the condensed version?
If it saves us precious moments, I guess.
They're a bunch of idiots who are meddling in stuff they don't know what they're dealing with. And they're just
Oh, I gathered
floundering
that
and
much.
barely surviving.
I
And
gathered as much.
this moron that I'm inhabiting is their fucking ringleader. It's like a monkey fucking a coconut. It is. Oh god. They have been into so much.
How long have you been watching and not helping?
I can't help unless unless the host accepts me. All right.
Well, I'm
So
glad he finally did, so we can get the guidance we so need
Yeah,
to go to the place where I know we need to go, which would be.
it only took him almost dying.
But we know now. So let's get your tag along up to speed and get out of here.
I look at Eve and say, "You fill her in," and then I turn to the book.
You're the one who wants to bring her. Okay, Morven, I know you have a lot of questions. I don't know where to start. What do you want to know?
Mostly the immediate things of, hello, who are you? How long has this library been existing under here? And since when did Damaris have a demon cohabiting? Because I had no idea of that.
Oh yeah, and by the way, this is Damaris' boss, and I point towards the old man as
Yeah.
I'm like thumbing through the book. I just go back to the book.
That's his boss.
It is a pleasure to meet you. I am Octavius Hollander.
Octavius. You're welcome, Octavius. I'm Eve. You know me. You've been in my living room. I mean that's the same. What's going on? A lot of things. There's been there was a situation at my work. You know I work. You know where I work. And a bunch of stuff got redacted, and it was creepy. Not Damaris has the files. If you want to look at them, the autopsy reports that happened.
They're all spread out on this stone slab.
It got covered up. We're trying to figure out why. And oh yeah, his sister might be involved.
Oh no, she's definitely involved.
She's definitely involved. So there's that. Yeah. And here we are.
To anyone watching, Octavius is there's this tension hanging in the air with Octavius as he's very sharply observing all of you. He's just letting you all speak.
Yes.
Octavius, could you show me the healing ritual that you performed on Ewan?
No.
Time you were here? Alright. Hey, not Damaris.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find what you were looking for in those books?
Not quite yet.
If this
Eve's just
demon's
gonna
going to be
sit
with us
down.
for a while, We might as well be friendly and call it by its actual name. Yeah, well, or at least the one we're given. Talk, was it?
Yeah, it was talk. I think. Honestly, let's call me Al. Actually, we'll go with Al.
All right.
I look up at Octavius and just wink.
He's staring intently at you.
What do you want?
You came to my sanctum. What is it you want?
I've already told you. I need to study this.
And you are?
Could you not stare at me the whole time?
I believe I will.
All right.
It's not every day a demon from the old world
Hey,
walks
hey,
into
hey,
my
hey,
sanctum.
You don't know about that. Come
Old
on.
world. Oh, a little show and tell won't hurt you.
Little show
Being
and tell.
Friends.
Woman, that could literally get me killed.
In my
And
sanctum,
you,
I
and
assure
all
you
your
it would.
Good friend. I mean, that's what we've been doing, isn't it?
I'm trying to not get you killed or anyone killed, which is odd for me.
That's very charming for a demon. An old world demon. How old? Centuries old? 2,000 years. Are you older than Christ? That didn't exist, did it? Of course it didn't.
I am quite old. And you better leave it at that.
First of all, Christ easily could have lived as a historical figure. Second of all, could we not be snide at each other, please?
Actually, he was a pretty swell guy from what I hear, but...
Well, I would assure you he's not older than me, if that's any consolation.
Oh no, you got what, at least
Is
a
it
millennia on
older
me?
than you?
At least.
Millennia? Sorry.
Yes, at least.
I'm just kind of looking him up and down. Like, I have heard of you, Octavius. I am trying to be semi-respectful of your sanctum, sir. But it is kind of creepy with you staring at me, man. All right. I do still retain some of Damaris's like features, and I'm pretty sure he's, what would they call it? Socially
anxious.
awkward.
Well, bear in mind that trust wears thin around the awakened.
I could see why as I stare at Eve.
Indeed. As I am too pondering why, in this age, another Arasamancer emerges.
It is quite worrisome.
Yes.
Did you hear about the doctor's plan, by the way? He's still up to his version of fun, I should say.
I may have met with him once before. Why?
He's gonna do the whole population control thing. So just...
Ah. Yes.
Who else is like me? You said there was someone else?
Well, not for at least a couple 100 years. But one always emerges. leads this world into war.
Ends justify means sometimes.
To you, I'm sure they do.
Eggs, omelets.
Yes.
I'm
But
sure you
what if
didn't live
I'm
that
vegan?
long. Not.
He has a very uneasy tension in his demeanor. Like he's ready for anything to happen, but he's very calm. He's very observant and alert.
Look, Octavius, I can promise you this much. I am not here to harm you or your sanctum, and nor would I ever even attempt to or try, considering who you
I
are.
doubt that you could.
That's exactly what I just said, but
Octavius.
I don't know, man. I mean, we can leave if you want, but I figured this was the safest place where we could just.
All
what
are
we
welcome
needed.
here.
That's kind of the problem.
You are welcome. I didn't say you were trusted.
That is fair. If it's any merit, I've been with Damaris for a while I worked with you.
Yes, I'm
Like I worked
aware.
for you.
I've been aware of his condition.
Ah. Why didn't you at least tell him?
I did.
Oh.
He ignored me.
Believed him?
God, he's stupid.
He's not so terrible.
Denial can be a powerful drug.
Indeed.
Octavius, I think it'd be fair to say that a certain trade benefited you very greatly that we made,
Yes,
wouldn't you?
indeed it did.
That doesn't purchase a little trust?
It would have, had you not been awakened. I, above many others, know the price of trauma and how it can break the mind. And I've yet to discover the nature of yours.
How long has yours been broken?
There's like an echo of that laughter against the stone.
What part of millennia do you not understand? I just say softly as I'm flipping through the book still.
It's just fascinating. That's all.
Morven, you can make an occult roll.
Haven't you ever hung out with old war veterans and heard them tell grizzled stories? Same kind of fascination. I guess it might not be a demon hobby.
I've met with many people.
Oh, you, I'm certain, Octavius.
Sorry, who do I make
Talking
an
to Al.
occult roll?
You roll the occult identity.
Oh, yeah.
It should be a button.
Where? Sorry.
You're fine.
I don't see anything.
It's at the
I'm
bottom on your
sorry.
identities. Occultist.
I'm a blank, so of course I can blank.
Oh, identity thing. Yes.
There you go.
Nice.
It's a great name.
The gold inlay on the door of a very elaborate tree spread down to the floor, and its roots went into the chamber. And they go around the floor, the circular room, and they circle around this stone slab and lead into the vault, which is veined as well in gold. You recall in your extensive random research into the occult, a lot of readings about the Tree of Knowledge.
This place certainly is one of its kind, I reckon. I can't help but notice the decor and the way you've laid things out. But very nice, first of all. I compliment your taste. But following the room around, where did those go?
Where does what?
The roots and branches, they go off everywhere. And
They lead to the vault. The reliquary of artifacts.
Oh.
Collected over millennia.
Some of which you might be willing to trade for other artifacts,
Yes, indeed.
that belong to a late friend of ours.
Of equal or greater power.
I understand. I haven't, given a bad trade yet, have I?
Yet, no.
Don't intend to.
Morven, you know that the Tree of Knowledge, its origins span the beginning of mankind. It was the, ironically, the fruit that gave Adam and Eve, the awareness, knowledge of existence. That tree of knowledge.
which subsequently doomed humanity according to, Judeo-Christian mythos.
Mm-hmm.
Fun times, happy days.
We're too smart for our own good.
That seems to be the symbolism of this chamber.
Well, we've bitten into it now. Look, I know I've just got here, and I'm not totally filled in, and I might seem, I'm aware of how I come off. But is there anything I can do to help any of you? I'm just sitting here.
My advice would be to help yourself.
It's not bad advice. I'd say go
Oh.
home, but
Well, it depends what your definition of helping myself is.
Morven, do you want to examine any of the very well organized images and papers that have been placed upon the table.
If I can, yeah, I would certainly like to.
Okay. You walk up and you see these images of these dead bodies that have been morphed and surgically ripped open. Their jaws have been snapped apart, and the eyes have been placed in the throat. The tongue hangs down. The arms have been pushed up into the split open rib cage that displays openly like a butterfly. And the organs have been surgically rearranged in different locations. And the feet have been bent and broken to form a steeple. And there is a very large silver metallic, you're not sure, symbol melted into the skull of what you would know to be a reverse Ouroboros and two crescent moons encircling an inverted pentagram.
Wow. Wherever they ended up, I hope they're at rest. That's no way for.
I would
for
assure
us to
you,
be dealt
from my
with.
knowledge of the Ophion Society, they are most definitely not at rest.
So now you know why we're looking into this. You sure you want to tag along?
I need you to make an unnatural roll.
Me?
Morven.
Okay.
Am I defending or attacking or what?
You're defending your unnatural. This is an attack on it. If you have any identity that would substitute for...
Whew.
Wow.
Okay.
The organs and hearts and the eyes begin to move within the pictures. And the eyes all stare at you. From the throat and the split open jaw. And the organs begin to beat.
Are they? Are they? Are they supposed to do that?
Do what? Do I see anything, or is it still for me?
Roll your identity.
7 versus 47.
They're moving.
Hallelujah, look at that. Hey, Al.
Uh-huh.
Come here.
What do you want?
Look at these pictures.
Yeah.
See any dancing eyeballs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
You see that
Oh, you weren't here for it. This is what Damaris saw earlier.
This is what you showed him.
Mm-hmm. This is what I showed Damaris.
And the sweet baby couldn't handle it.
No, he handled it just fine, but
Really?
that's whenever Jonathan got strung up though, so it didn't exactly end very well.
You're all handling this very well. My question remains unanswered. Are they supposed to do that?
Well, I mean, yeah.
I'm not surprised at this point.
That doesn't answer my question.
They didn't when I was like you. So that's something. When I was dreaming, I didn't see them move. Maybe you're not entirely dreaming. What do you think? Do you think if we took her to, it's the club, I'm sure of it. That has something to do with it.
What club?
You've probably been there. I think the Babylon Club?
Never heard of it.
I chased the gunslinger to it, and then I lost time. And then we went as a group. You weren't with us yet, but you were in Mars probably. We went as a group inside, came out, and lost time. But while I was inside, I had texted Gramps, Ewan, and he told me all the stuff we did while we were inside and that we'd made a plan. That's how we ended up at Pantheon United. I think that club, when you're awake like us, something happens, or maybe you can only remember it if you're awake like us.
Well, that would explain why I still can't remember it then. Damaris is not awakened.
No, but we haven't been there since I've been awake or since... Well, I don't know about you. Because you're not... quite... Well, I was thinking anyway, she's probably half awake, maybe. Is there such a thing? Is there an in-between?
I assure you there is not an in-between.
Then why does she see it moving and she's not awake?
She might just have a knack for it.
Some people have abilities. And sometimes the spiritual pressure bleeds through to the mundane. This, as I can see, was an intentional act by your new associate to prove a point. Within my sanctum, I might add.
Sorry. But come on, it was a good one. You know it.
Well, it forced me to expend items that I would have preferred not to.
That I honestly hate to hear. If all goes well, you'll have, if you ever leave the building at least, have fresh pickings of just whatever the hell you want here soon.
I have no intention of leaving my sanctum.
Oh, I didn't think you did.
Too dangerous outside?
I have no desire.
No, I must admit it is rather nice in here.
I look him from bottom to top, and then I look at her and I go, to be honest, I'm more scared of him than you.
When you look at him again, you can make another roll.
Me?
Yep.
21 versus 60.
He's transparent.
Mm-hmm.
You're afraid of someone, Al?
You can see through him.
I'm afraid of a lot of things.
I can?
Amagulan, you realize in this moment he is not flesh and blood.
So, couple questions, Octavius.
Yes.
For one, can I get closer to you without you killing me? Is that a possibility? Because I just don't want them to hear me, if that's fine.
Approach with caution.
Will do. I'll even keep my hands open if you need me to. So I go up to my hands, palms out, open. Let's get close enough so I can whisper. So, hey, where the fuck is your body?
He just does this.
Ah, got you. That's genius. That, God, you old ones really have. Is there any way for me to do that out of this body, or is that something you've just accumulated so far in all of your time? For obvious reasons.
He takes that lens again and he puts it real close to your face. And he says, "It would seem you are already bound to an object."
Damn it. If only could have had Damaris figure out. I'm gonna be stuck here. Well, it was worth a shot asking. I appreciate the answer, at the very least.
I am bound to my sanctum.
I understand. So, like, are you gonna be affected by the doctor's plan at all? Or are you okay? Like, you want me to roll, like, something in front of the door up front or some shit so people don't come in, or what?
I assure you I control every inch of this building.
Man, even the tunnel?
Yes.
Damn.
And I have seen many cleansings within this city.
That is fair. I do have one more question, if that's okay.
Yes?
Why do you want this book?
I don't. I traded it.
Oh, you traded it to her?
Yes.
Ah, okay. So you've been trying to help them this whole time, and they just haven't been picking up on it, huh?
Yes.
Oh, he got something in
I see.
return.
What did she trade you for this book?
Everything he's done. At least in
Oh,
the
come on,
last
at least
day or so.
You hush. You can't. You go away. Go that way. You can still hear us.
A rather major charge.
Are you fucking kidding? How did you swindle that out of her for that? She didn't know what she had, did she?
I was asleep.
It was offered. I accepted.
That's fair. Damn. That explains the renovations and everything, then.
Question of my own. So sorry, pardon.
Yes, my dear.
Oh, I suppose you don't have much use for modern currency, but what would I need to trade much for any books on sort of obscure ritual practices you might have?
You're welcome to learn, but you may not remove anything from the library without trading equal or greater value.
Oh, so as long as I study it here, it's fine.
Yes.
In that case, where might such books be?
All around you. There are 3 stories of books encircling this chamber.
Any recommendations for where to?
That depends on your preference.
Hmm. Seances?
He just points.
Right. And I just kind of go approach a random book.
Okay. There are very extensive, very old books, often in different languages. Some in very old English, before English got revamped.
English to Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Right. Would I know how to read those, or would I specifically have to look for something in English, modern English?
I mean, you would have to research. I mean, it's up to you what languages you think you would know.
I'd imagine that I would, like, know bits and pieces of old languages, but not be any sort of fluent. In that case.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just take out whichever one looks like most recent and easiest for me to understand.
Sure. You see some extensive rituals on several different types of seances. Contacting the spirit world, summoning spirits, binding spirits. You see a couple modern things of rituals that don't make sense at all. Like, you're looking at it and you're like, this is stupid. Why is this here?
These are obviously negative examples.
But from the extensive background of everything you've seen, you assume everything here is legit. But it's like very specific, nonsensical rituals of modern day items and things like that, used in very specific ways. And they're like handwritten journals, and they seem to be very legit. Of course, you wouldn't know without testing one.
Would I find anything in them that seems relevant to me, if you know what I'm talking
about? Oracle readings?
Sort of thing.
Make an occultist roll. Yeah. You do find quite a bit on different versions of divination and ways to see the world behind the world and how it's connected to the mundane. It's an extensive book. It's about 1.5 feet tall and 1 foot wide, and it's about 4 inches thick. Very old paper. Bronze leather. and it's actually blank on the outside and the spine. It's like you just happened to come across it. Doesn't really have any titles or credits. It just seems to be just like an open journal with smatterings of interpretations, recipes, rituals, things that would help do the things that you kind of have been wanting to do. But your knowledge of reading about cards and divinity have seemed to be specific, but the way this book reads as you glance through it really fast, it's more like exactly what you need to do and exactly what this means without all of the fluff. It's like it's been trimmed down, but it's still 4 inches thick. Like it's trimmed down to all the things that work, but it's still 4 inches thick.
Right. I guess if I'm not much use for much else whilst everyone else is doing what they need to hear, then I'll study this for a while. Being extremely careful with such a hefty tome.
Very well. So, you said you needed to stay here a while and find your way? What is
I
it
wouldn't
I
say
can...
a while. Just until we can get enough information to act, really.
I think I know somewhere that we can find a lot of information.
Would this be that club?
No, I was gonna say the crime scene.
Damaris was saying something about an orphanage.
There's a few places, depending on this set of murders or, well, yeah, an orphanage. There's a heritage estate, and the other one is called Herringer Estates and
Herringer.
Herringer Estates. Thank you. And Artemis Grove, which is the orphanage or former orphanage. In the 40s, 17 kids went missing, and recently the bodies of 3 of the bodies were found there.
That's not entirely accurate.
That's what I have written down, and I wasn't sure if it was entirely accurate.
The first 6 that were...
Because I have Adara Longstead, Jacob Ballstein, and Pacaros Rollins were found there in Artemis Grove.
No.
Okay.
1 was found in Artemis Grove.
Okay.
That was
and then,
the very clean,
yeah,
with the silver or the
precise filleted.
the platinum. The other 2 were found in the city.
Okay.
But there were 6 that were slain ritualistically all at once, and they did not have any silver melted into their skull. They were just basically killed and carved on.
Were those the Herringer Estate ones?
Yes.
Where Drea's fingerprints were found.
Yes.
That was in the file that Ewan had that he showed me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, my guess.
And those
would
took
be
place
Herringer Estate.
6 months prior to the other ones.
Okay. Herringer Estates or Artemis Grove. Go where the bodies were.
And you know that the Herringer Estates, it's in
It's about
two.
3 miles west of.
It's in two
Artemis
separate.
Grove.
It's in two separate sections. But the estates is outside of the grove, and the singular body is inside the grove, to the north.
Okay.
And
Which
you-
body was that? Because that's the one Eve did the autopsy on. Or did she get all 3 from around the city?
Rollins.
Rollins? Okay. I'll update my notes so that they're right.
And you know that further to the north, outside of the Artemis Grove, is where Jonathan has his estate.
Okay.
It's more northwest, but
So Artemis Grove is like a neighborhood.
Artemis Grove is a very large forested area that surrounds the city.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thank you. I say we go to Artemis Grove, go to Herringer Estates. See, I'm sure they've had to have gotten it all taped off. If anything, maybe there's some squatters, but I think we can handle some squatters.
Does anyone have... so are you the only one observing the
I don't know what that role was.
the images and the papers from Jonathan's book, or Jonathan's briefcase? Is
I don't
anyone
know.
looking through that?
I can.
Okay. You're not finding much information in that book that you don't already know. It seems to be a little obscure. You know some more specific things about the Ophion Society. But I'll let you make a roll for that you manipulated the images. You can roll your spirit.
My spirit. What the heck is spirit, dog?
The one you rolled before. There's only 2
Oh,
identities.
gotcha. 5 versus 60.
Okay.
All right.
So there are some other locations that Jonathan made note of that he found information from. There is the Neon Demon, which is a tattoo parlor.
Oh yeah, the one that Grim knew people at.
I've been there.
You
Well, you
tried,
don't-
to,
You don't know
Tattooed
that.
there. No.
well, he tried to get me to go there with him.
Did he? Okay.
Are you
Yeah.
sharing this information?
Not yet.
And there is the well, in the Neon Demon there were people known to have that Ophion tattoo. And let's see.
I think we got a truck with a lot of explosives.
You're welcome.
There was the Vellum Prime Industry. VELLUM Prime Industry, which is an abandoned paper factory. Within the city.
So I'm gonna go and relay that info to them.
He found some of that symbol work on some of the walls in the abandoned paper factory.
I would wager we should stay away from the paper factory. But
Fine by me.
anybody want to get a tattoo?
I could go for another. Why? Where? Oh, I've been here before. He's looking into this place?
I'm just I'm gonna start writing down all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I mean, like, I pull out Damaris's little notebook he has in his jacket and start writing down all this.
Okay.
Right.
Is this the same? Is this the same notebook he was writing those rituals in?
Mm-hmm.
The ones that he didn't control or understand?
Yeah.
Or was that a separate book? Okay.
No, that's the same book.
Okay. As you flip through it, you're like, oh yeah. This was you trying to talk to him in different languages and teach him about what's going on.
Rookie couldn't even get it past the tutorial.
He tried.
You do see a couple of the rituals jotted down that you've used in the past, so you don't forget.
No, maybe this will come in handy.
The owner of the Neon Demon is also in the book or the papers that he had. It's registered under a Sandor Radford.
Sandor Radford. Why is...
Doesn't ring any specific bells with me.
Go ahead and jot his name down. How do I spell that?
Sandor
Mm-hmm.
Radford.
Just like it sounds. Cool. Owner of the Neon Demon, right? That's what it's called?
Yeah, he's the owner of the Neon Demon. I would recommend, as I have said twice before already, You're conducting an investigation.
Start at the beginning.
Yes.
Hmm.
Speaking of, where is your lead investigator?
Yeah. Where is he, Eve?
I don't know. I was following them, and he dodged through traffic quite irresponsibly and lost
Well,
me.
yeah, I was dying. I understand. Well, the Morris was dying, I should say.
And so I didn't see where he was. He was gone by the time I got to the hospital. So, it's just this happy trio.
Morven. Where do you fit into all of this? And this is the first time he's called you by name. Uh-oh. Did we freeze again?
Every time.
I believe we've frozen again. Be right back. Oh, well, maybe.
Oh.
Are we back? You back?
Hey.
Hello.
Okay. Morven, where do you fit into all of this? We'll be right back.
I get to be a unicorn this time.
I just want to die.
And we're back.
Heard everything, just you didn't hear me. So, yes. Well, I'm not quite sure. I mostly just came here, from multiple signs, that my friends were in trouble. So here I am.
Fair enough.
Morven? What
Hmm?
signs?
Oh, they were not pleasant.
I know.
I
They were.
I performed a divination some while ago, and more or less told me after some examination about all of you being in the hospital and that things were extremely wrong, but I did not imagine it was anything on this scale. That's mostly how I found you, because no one ever seems to answer their hacking phones these days.
I've been just a little busy.
Yes, I see that, but my point being, I can't promise much, but if there's someone missing, I can maybe attempt to ask.
I mean, that is why I brought you. Why I insisted you come, at least.
You see a knowing nod from Octavius.
I guess not terrible to have a friend here.
Yes, it would seem both of you would need one.
Well, in that case, then I cards. Yes.
Try not to get her killed.
I'll do my damnedest.
I already said I can't make any promises. For any.
Oh, Octavius.
Yes.
Do you happen to have anything better than this thing? And I pull out the pistol. And I'm like,
It's a weapon.
yeah, it works on humans, but not, us.
Don't you have something
Well,
for that?
It will certainly work on you.
Of course it'll work on me. I'm currently in this fleshy pudge.
What are you asking me for?
I'm asking if let's say you did have a weapon of some sort, what you would want in, trade for.
Equal or greater power.
Yeah.
The weapon of friendship.
It works
No?
effectively.
I assure you, that may be a powerful weapon.
Oh, I'm not talking about trading you this, but I will find something to trade you. I'm just trying to get some direction as to what to find. What are you interested in?
Any magical artifact of power is of interest to me.
Alright, that's broad but fair.
I'm sure the more powerful, the better.
Of
I
course.
would imagine.
Of course. I think I understand you a little better, Octavius.
I sincerely doubt it.
Hmm.
However, I do understand you. Should you require more information, I could be willing to trade.
I'll keep it in mind. We have history now.
Very well. You notice he hasn't really changed his posture. or blinked.
Right. So,
Or breathed.
I'm basically the only person that's not weirded out by it at this point, right?
You're the only one that's noticed.
I'm working with a heckin' demon.
I suppose then us young whippersnappers better get off his lawn. So whatever we need to do, let's get on with it.
You're more than welcome to stay.
Yeah, he said we could chill. And I'm just sitting there reading through the book. Just thumbing through it still.
I'm
But
just
staying here
really not.
will not get you any further in your endeavors.
Those of us who don't have hundreds of years to live ought to start going now, I suppose. And
Or
I think
getting
that means
some
the ones
rest.
who inhabit a meat suit also.
It means too that's really, really tired.
Well,
This man has been up for almost 48 hours straight. The only thing driving him now is pure just spite, it feels like. I don't know what this feeling is.
You
We still
feel-
didn't get anything to eat, did we?
You did not.
no.
You feel the
not.
body be tired, but you are powerful enough to push it well beyond its limits.
Yes, but that comes with consequences.
It
now,
does.
Doesn't it? I promised him I'd try to keep him intact. I'm trying to keep to my word.
Reading all night I don't think classifies as rest.
Oh no,
For
this
humans.
is rest for the soul. I'm talking some cold, hard rest where you meet Lady Death in your sleep.
Octavius, do you have anything to eat down here?
It can be arranged.
For what?
Has everyone suddenly forgotten the word please?
What is it?
Has everyone suddenly forgotten the word please?
I know, right?
An astute point. You glance over and you see a banquet of food. Like it's always been there.
Hey, Octavius.
Yes.
Is my cot still upstairs?
Yes.
Awesome. I'm gonna go grab some food.
What's the cost?
Hospitality.
A please and a thank you?
Sure.
May I please?
Be my guest.
Thank you. I'm gonna go walk over and make a plate.
Thank you, sir.
He just nods. The food is lavish with very old, ornate plateware, silverware, but it's perfectly preserved, clean, pristine, looks brand new. Lit by candles.
Yes. Running a library, you could make millions running a restaurant, sir.
I have no interest in such things. Money is of no value.
The ambiance is pretty nice.
The only thing of value in this world is knowledge and power. Money
Until you get too much of it.
and wealth is an illusion of power.
Illusions can be used to get other people to fetch power for you.
For a
I look
time.
at Eve and I'm like, he's already done that once.
That lively dinner conversation. I'm not complaining. I think it's marvelous.
You enjoy your meal with whatever chatter you choose to divulge. Over the next hour, you become full. And you become tired. You can choose to rest here if you want. The antechamber is still there. A little bit different. If you wish, we
Let's take a
can
nap.
push. If you wish, we can push the scene forward.
I'm in.
Eve will choose to rest here for now.
Okay.
And I'm good to go forward.
This is the first time we've gotten a rest. Almost 26 hours?
Yes, it is. Darkness overtakes all of you. In the slow drone of your own breathing, you descend into the core of gravity. It consumes you. Like you're drowning in bliss as your bodies are racked. The alleviation of pain and the fluttering of all of your thoughts. You drift deeper and deeper into the core of gravity. Pulls you down. It's like you're falling forever. Eve. This is an attack on yourself.
Okay.
If you have something that defends it, you can use it.
I do not. I defend with notice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 81 versus 50. Would that play into my fear of not having control?
Not in this instance.
Okay.
Morven, this is also an attack on yourself.
Okay. My artist identity has substitutes for ability notice. Does that affect anything?
Well, no.
Alright.
Because you're not specifically rolling it, you're rolling the defense of that, so.
30v40.
Very nice. You can mark a hardened in yourself. Amagulon, this is quite different. You are going to have to make this is an attack on your isolation.
$17 versus $25.
Wow. You can mark a hardened in your isolation. We'll start with Eve.
Yep.
You are laying on a surgical slab. And you are being operated on by several masked people with surgical masks. You can't feel the pain of them cutting into your body. And then all of a sudden there's a flash. You are somewhere else. You are in some kind of concrete basement. And there are several dark figures standing around you. They've got hoods. And they are carving into you, except this time you can feel the pain.
Oh no, not
But
again.
you can't speak.
Hmm.
You're frozen. As you feel your jaw split open. And they reach into your eyes and pull them out. Place them in your throat. One of them pulls off the hood. And it's yourself. Another one pulls off its hood. It's Jonathan. Another one pulls off its hood. Ewan. Standing in the back is the figure of Damaris. Observing. And the last one bent down, cutting into you and breaking your bones and twisting your rib cage and sewing your organs into different locations is Morven. You glance around, and then when you glance up, you see just a stratosphere of stars and different like locations. They seem to fade in and out of the clouds, and you see people with skull faces and misshapen monstrosities. And they're all observing you. And then you hear Nell's voice, almost like she's laying down right beside you, in your ear. You need to wake up. We have to go back. Make it right.
How? How?
Wake up. Wake up. You did this.
Mm. Mm.
And you wake up. Now we switch to Morven.
Mhm.
In this darkness, you see a version of yourself you don't recognize. Floating above their head is a clock spinning backwards. As they walk, seemingly in the darkness, they're hooded, but their step is lit up by a silver disc or a platinum disc. And it's a spinning version of that symbol. The Ouroboros is spinning backwards. The crescents are alternating their rotations. The pentagram stays stationary. And it's like no matter where they walk, this type of symbol just moves along with them. And you see yourself performing a ritual. It is that grotesque ritual that you saw in those images. You see yourself performing it on Eve, along with other people. Ewan, Jonathan, Morris, Grim. You know these people. They're helping. And once they're done with Eve, you volunteer yourself to be next. You're in a different location. The rest of them perform this ritual on yourself. You're watching this from an outside perspective. Like you're seeing a spotlight on a play, and the rest is dark, and you're watching from the darkness. You see the pain is real, but they're frozen. And then you see Nell covered in blood. Her body looks like it's been stapled back together, been torn apart and stapled back together. She's laying on the floor next to Eve, whispering in her ear as she's being ripped open and just torn apart. You see all of these things. You shudder to imagine what this pain must feel like from an outside perspective. These scenes play almost in succession, over and over and over. And then you watch them play in reverse. And then you just see your face illuminated staring back at you. It doesn't see you, but you just see the changes of your face as they grow darker, grow more cold. And you watch your face split open as you wake up. Damaris. Rest is dangerous for you as you've been in this familiar place. You are back within your own spirit. You can speak to Damaris, or Magulon. Have fun talking to yourself. However, this is a struggle for who gets to wake up, but you made your roll. The advocate wakes up. You're muted.
Can I play this out though?
Absolutely.
I hold up a single finger to him and I go. And he comes closer and I go. And we play rock, paper, scissors and I lose. So I just go, okay. And just turn around and walk away and go sit down. Go chill out.
So Damaris chooses to stay.
For now, yeah.
Okay. The advocate says, "Good boy," and wakes up.
I glare at him as he disappears.
Now, for Damaris, when he disappears, those visions of the outside world that he was giving you,
Mm-hmm.
they fade further into the distance. And you feel your limbs become heavy with this just black, wet weight pulling you down. It's almost like you're drowning. more of a spiritual drowning. But you are flushed back to the ritual. That first called Amagulon. Walk us through that moment.
I mean, it's the same one that you described already, correct?
No. This is when you first got the skull to summon a familiar and didn't quite know what you were doing.
Oh, yeah. Even whenever I drew the circles and then I messed up the rune and I knocked the candle over. And I didn't think anything actually happened because nothing real notable actually did happen. My room was set up. It was, I mean, messy as always. There's books fucking everywhere. So I had to clear out space in my office, right? Took the of all things, I had chalkboard paint painted on my floor so I could just draw with chalk a lot easier. I really should have used gold or something, to be honest. But the circle was pretty botched, and I didn't think anything of it until the nightmare started and my sister started acting more weird, and then she disappeared. And then I found out she might have been at the helm of quite a few murders, and now I'm letting a fucking demon rent my body. What the fuck am I doing? Oh, God.
These events play over in succession. Every time the candle knocks over, the fire flares up and you see him walk through. And he grips your chest. And he repeats those words that you heard not so long ago in the hospital. What is the artifact that you kept from Drea, that you always kept near your person, or at least in your home, that reminded you of her?
That, that was my silver pinnacle.
Hmm.
It's on my chest. What are you talking about? Left at home.
Not there.
Never leave. Oh, fuck. When did I take that off?
Hmm.
Where the hell am I anyways? Start looking around me.
You're in your home, repeating this ritual again and again and again. And each time the demon grabs you, you're engulfed in flames.
Fucking great. Oh. Jesus fucking Christ.
And this is your existence.
Mm-hmm.
Amagulon, you wake up. All right. And we are all back. The next morning, you are rested, but significantly more disturbed. In particular, Amagulan, you know items can have power, especially when you are tracking someone down. You know that pentacle necklace is significant. Retrieving it from your home or Damaris's home would aid in mutual goals. You know that you took it off at some point and tossed it aside, not thinking about it. But now that you're able to roll through that memory, you know that's significant and relevant to what you're trying to accomplish. You make a mental note to go get it when you're available to do so. And you awake in the library. Assume you all reconvene.
So, how did everybody sleep?
Yes. I had a sleep. How about you two?
Not the best. But enough.
Well, that's good at least. Alright, so here's the plan. I have to run by Damaris's house, and then we can go to wherever the hell you want.
You were the one chastising me for running on errands, weren't you?
Oh, this isn't an errand. Remember, I don't do that. This is to get us where we need to be, actually. He has something that I actually need. It's a surprise.
Where are we going?
It's not too terribly far, to be honest. I mean,
It's actually just a couple blocks.
yeah.
No, I mean after you, Damarius's house.
Do what now?
After we fetch the thing, where are we going?
My best guess would be the orphanage where all this started.
Oh, orphanages. How fun.
Scene of the crime.
Mm-hmm. So, Octavius.
Yes. He looks like he hasn't moved.
I appreciate your hospitality, and I appreciate it, and thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Might be back at some point.
Don't
Not
worry.
entirely certain. May
I'll
die,
be here.
So, yeah. See,
Is there as equally an inconspicuous entrance in the ladies' room?
There is not.
Right. Okay. Well, still, I'll probably be back a lot if you don't mind. This place is magnificent.
Thank you.
Alright, I'm gonna start walking out.
It's taken several lifetimes to accomplish.
Cool, we're going. Okay. Bye, Octavius.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
The door opens, and you are let out. Into the next morning. Which vehicle do you take, or do you walk?
I'm just gonna walk.
How far away is it?
2 blocks.
Oh, fine. I could do with a walk to stretch my legs.
As long as we're coming back to the car afterwards, so I don't need to drag my bike everywhere.
Oh, of course. I need that truck for reasons.
Yes, feel free to not tell me anything.
I'd
We'll
rather
keep
not
it inside it.
rather not make you an accomplice, if I'm being honest. So
Hmm.
it might draw a lot of attention. I'd rather not make you an accomplice. I'll just leave it at that.
Fair enough. I'll respect your privacy. I hope my cards do as well.
So, you make your way to Damaris's home without issue. Damaris, or Amagulan, either one. Describe Damaris's home. What they would see when they walk in, or walking up to
As
it.
soon as you walk up to it, there's just a small little tiny ass driveway going to this shitty little garage, right? That's attached to the duplex. Like, it's a duplex that he rents, but it's like a, I don't know, kind of like old Section 8 style housing, but like repurposed. You know what I mean? Like somebody bought it and renovated it. And then as you walk in, there are books literally everywhere. He has a couch, he has tables and chairs, everything like that, but there's just books everywhere. He is absolutely obsessed with finding out anything he can about the occult, whether it's true or false. But yeah, and then as soon as you walk into the living room, there's a staircase to your right that takes you up to the bedrooms, and then directly ahead there is like a wall with kind of a cutout where you can see into the kitchen, and the kitchen's right past that wall. And then there's a door to the back and out. And I mean, that's basically it for the bottom floor. Top floor is just 2 bedrooms, which one is now converted into an office and has a bunch of books in it. And then there's his bedroom, which don't go in there.
Where do you lead them?
Oh, directly to the office. Like straight up. They
Okay.
do not go in my bedroom.
And where would Imagulan have tossed this necklace?
Let's see. If he tossed it, it was probably while they're changing shirts. So in the bedroom.
Okay. What is the office like when they are waiting?
Oh, there's 2 L-shaped. It's very immaculate in here. It's probably literally the cleanest place in the whole duplex. But there's 2 L-shaped desks with like a mid-range PC for like photoshopping stuff like that. I guess mid-grade. A couple monitors, a couple speakers. There's a 3D printer on one table that's not doing anything, just kind of chilling. It's just kind of like minimalistic design too. They're all just like placed on floating shelves attached from the wall, you know? And then on the floor, there is a giant black square, probably about 4 foot by 4 foot, all through the dead center of the room. And then there's just some chalk over by the light switch in a little container.
Okay.
But yeah, that's basically it. And he has set up some extra LED lights around the top, so that way he can see when he's working on the circle too.
You lead up. They go in and wait. And describe the bedroom.
There's a bed. It's a mess. There's clothes everywhere. I
Okay.
mean, It's the bedroom. A couple cups by the bedside table you forgot about, the usual.
So everything is as he described. However, when you open these two doors to these two rooms, all of the walls are covered in writing and symbols written in blood.
Oh. Well, that's new.
Interesting decor.
Not for the advocate.
So don't mind the writing. I will be right back. I have to find something in his bedroom.
You surmise this was you doing the same thing you did in the book. Trying to control his body without his knowledge.
Yeah. Sorry, that was the we'll call them infant stages.
You did this.
Everything's better now.
And he didn't realize.
I just turn around and I just turn on my heel and walk into his bedroom and shut the door. It's like everything's better now, and I just turn around and walk away.
The blood is months old.
Ugh.
You can actually smell a little putrid stench in the air.
Can I sit down at his computer?
Sure.
Is there like a guest user?
Hell no. I ain't stupid.
No, it's turned off. As you sit down, though, screen pops up. Hello.
Hello, world.
Hello. And I type back
I'm sorry.
with a smiley face.
You type, but nothing happens.
Aw. Does he have a webcam?
Yeah.
Hello.
On the screen, text back. We should meet soon. When you have time. I'll need your help.
I'd love to.
All of you.
All of
Stay
when and
together.
where?
Stay together. Don't die. I'll contact you soon.
Not doing so great on that middle one, friend.
Sorry
Having some
about
trouble.
Jonathan. And then it glitches and goes black again as the advocate walks back into the room. Morven, you saw this.
I'm no tech engineer, but I don't think that was that was normal.
The thing that's been texting Damaris and me and Ewan and John, it left us a message saying, stay together, stay alive, we need to meet. Apparently,
He's
not
meddling
getting
again.
messages. Who is it?
All of your
Beats
phones
the hell out of me.
vibrate.
What the fuck do you want now?
Says hello.
What?
This is a new friend. You have to
You're
protect
not-
her. It's the exact same message you got when Eve showed up.
At this point, I just feel like he's fucking with me.
You specifically?
Morven, your text is different. It says, stay alive, trust them as much as you can, help them where you can. Hopefully, you can wake up too. And that is where we are going to pause our story for now. In the future, we will begin to see soon what the real story unfolds. It may not be what anyone expects. Thank you for watching. See you next week.